All right, here we go. Today we have Kisha Chavis, who was recently thrust in the public eye when she posted an argument with her former NBA husband, Joe Smith, when he found out she had secretly launched an OnlyFans page. Welcome to VladTV.
Hi, Vlad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for coming in. You're all over the place now.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's start at the very beginning because we all know what's going on now, but I want to kind of get the backstory. So you were born in the Bronx.
Yes.
So what was the Bronx like in the mid-'80s?
I wasn't living in the Bronx in the 80s. I was actually in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Oh, so you moved to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Which is not too far.
Not that far.
Okay.
I think I was born in the Bronx. I lived there for a very short time. My mom moved me to St. Croix when I was about 5 or 4. And then from St. Croix, I went to my grandmother in Jersey.
Okay. So you lived with your grandmother?
Yes, my grandmother raised me.
Okay, what happened with your mom and dad?
My father, we're still trying to find out exactly who he is. Like, I've pinpointed the family.
Sure.
We just can't figure out who is my father in the family. And my mother just has, like, no idea.
No idea.
Like, she thought this one guy was my dad, and then I found them, and we tested, and it wasn't him.
Okay.
Like a whole Maury situation. So now she's just like, I don't know these people. So that just, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Okay. Well, why wasn't your mom
right now?
Why wasn't your mom raising you?
She honestly, she was a singer. She was traveling. She was an act. It's so crazy. I ended up going to Germany. She toured Germany on a USO tour when I was a kid. She just wasn't really she didn't like being pregnant. She didn't want to be a parent really, like to this day, she's more like a friend than my mom, My grandmother was my mom.
I mean, do you think that created some kind of mommy-daddy issues in a way?
Oh, I have a lot of issues. I need therapy. I know I do. I'm
Okay.
I'm all fucked up.
Okay. So then what made you get into adult film?
I ran away from home.
At what age?
I was about 15 going on 16.
Okay.
I ran away. I wasn't happy at home. I was suicidal. I was just going through a lot with school and my grandma.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were how old? 18 when you started or 19?
17 going on 18 when I made my first movie.
Oh, so you were underage.
I was just legal, right? I just turned 18 when I made my first
Just turned
movie.
18.
Just turned 18, yeah.
Okay. And what made you do it?
Well, I met Heather Hunter.
Okay.
And she was a star in my eyes. I wanted to be in the industry, music, whatever. And she just was like the first star to me. Like, she was just beautiful and she was so graceful on stage dancing. And I was like, I want to be like her. And yeah, she took me under her wing. And that's how I made my first adult film.
Okay. I've interviewed Heather before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool
She's
person.
a beautiful person. Yeah. She's
absolutely.
really wonderful. I love her to this day.
Absolutely. Okay. So with her kind of showing you the ropes, you did your first scene.
Yes. Heather
Okay.
Hunter's Home Movies was my first scene.
Okay.
Yes.
And this was 89?
This was like 89, yeah. 1989.
Okay. Were you nervous coming into it?
Yeah. My first film, I was very nervous, but it was more about the acting for me, I really I thrived when it comes to doing my dialogue. So
Okay.
yeah.
And you chose the name Yasmin Penn-Davis.
No, then I was Monique Seabrook.
Okay. I didn't know that.
My name is Kisha Monique Seabrook. I was married once before.
Okay. Were you married at that time?
During the porn years?
Yeah.
I got married in 1991.
So
92?
2 years later.
Yes.
2-3 years later.
Yes.
Okay. So you changed your name to Yasmin Penn-Davis?
In 2000, like probably 1999, 2000.
Oh, so later on.
Later on.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So everything was Monique Seabrook before.
Yes.
And then Yasmin.
Yes. And then there's always a break in between my filming. So I did the Heather Hunter stuff with Vidway Video. And then I got in trouble. I had did some when I was a runaway. I had did some credit card scam shit and got in trouble. So I came from my first AVN award. I just finished signing autographs and I got back home to New York and the feds had ransacked Barry Goldman's apartment, and I didn't go home to that house. I went to my cousin's house, and my aunt, my godmother, snitched me out and was like, she's at my daughter's house. And they arrested me, and I went to Rikers Island where I met my daughter's father, Ken Chavis.
Oh, okay. You met your daughter's father in Rikers.
Yes, he was a correction officer.
Oh, he was a correctional officer. Yeah, I was going to say, how do you meet a man in a
CO.
women's prison? Okay. How long were you locked up for?
About 9 months, 8 months.
Okay.
Like that.
How was that?
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'll never get in trouble again.
I know, right? Rikers is Rikers.
Like, I got a speeding thing and went to jail for like a night. I had a heart attack. I was like, oh God, no, not this again.
You got married and then you had a daughter?
Yes.
With your husband?
With my husband.
Okay. What year was that?
She was born in 91.
Aha. Okay. And then you guys got divorced?
We didn't get divorced until after I met Joe.
Oh, so you were married the whole time?
We've been separated for 27 years.
Okay, why not go through with the divorce?
He didn't want to get a divorce. I didn't see a need to get a divorce. We were just happily married, unmarried. We were happily uncoupled married, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so then at one point you moved to Europe?
Yes. So I had my daughter in 2006. I moved to Europe. To Germany.
Okay, to pursue music.
To pursue music, yes.
Okay, and you redid Tell It to My Heart.
Yes. Yeah, you did your homework, huh?
Yeah, and that actually hit the charts in Germany.
It did, yes.
Okay, so you're able to start touring off that.
Yes, I opened for Boys to Men, Drew Hill. I had my own tour. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay. But then ultimately you moved back to America.
Yeah, that wasn't a plan. You know, I came home just to visit, to see what the climate was for career opportunities. I met Joe and decided that I would stay. It was pretty much like, you want me to stay? You don't want me to stay because I can go back to Germany, you know, type thing. And it's like, I don't want you to go back to Germany. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of backstory here because I interviewed Joe, as you know, recently.
Mm-hmm.
So before you went back to the U.S. while you're still in Germany, in 2011, the NBA lockout happened.
Yes.
And Joe didn't get picked by any teams.
Yes.
So essentially that ended a long NBA career of his.
Yes. I honestly don't think he tried to get picked back up again. I mean, you have to make an effort, you know, and his ex-wife said something to me when I first got with him. And she was like, Joe, he doesn't answer his phone. Like, there's money in his phone. He won't pick it up. And I mean, I've seen for myself living with him over these years that you'll see people call his phone and he won't. I'm like, answer your phone. I don't know that number, but you never know who's calling you. If it's important, they'll leave a message, but not all the time, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay, because after he didn't get picked up by any teams, his wife divorced him.
Yes,
his
first mother passed away.
Yolanda Smith.
Yes.
You saying she passed away?
His mother passed away as well.
Passed away.
Right during this time.
Oh, okay, got it. His mom passed away.
The wife divorces him. Lockout happens.
Lockout happens.
Clusterfuck of just
bad events.
Yes.
Right. And he ended up having 4 kids outside of his marriage.
He did.
Which I'm sure contributed. Well, that same year, that's when you and your wife got divorced?
And that was piled on top of it as well. So it was real instant for me. Like because I tell people as soon as the ball stopped bouncing, you know, I was in the court, you know, getting a divorce. And, you know, and at that time I felt like, you know, I let my kids down. I was, you know, letting my family down. And, you know, I put all that on my shoulders because I take a lot of blame for a lot of stuff, you know, that, you know, a lot of decisions and a lot of things that happened in my life. You know, I'm quick to take the blame. I never point the finger at anybody else. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and that kind of helped spiral it down the way it did.
I mean, I'll say this. It wasn't like she didn't know what was going on. Like, you waited 4 kids for them all to damn near be grown before you divorce him. You know, you got pregnant while other women were pregnant. So what does that say for you?
Right, because they had 2 kids.
Right.
And then she had
if you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
her son and his oldest son are the same age.
Yeah.
His daughter and his other daughter are the same age.
Right.
You know? So you've had plenty of opportunity to leave the situation. You just waited till it would hurt him the most. You know? And being in that circle, I know that the Govan girls, they all did the same thing. They waited for their husbands to retire or to not have jobs anymore, and then they divorced them. It was a cliquish type, plan that they had. They didn't want to be with these men while they were home. They liked when they were on the road, because it wasn't there for love. They were there for convenience.
Okay. Well, during the course of his career, he made $61 million.
Yes.
But that netted only about $18 million. And there was a lot of purchases along the way. There was homes. There was, this is before you showed up.
All before me.
All before you. I'm just kind of setting the stage.
Yes.
And then after he got divorced, he started dating Monique Slaughter. Mm-hmm. And according to him, she forged 9 checks totaling $109,000.
Yes. And there is something with that with the ex-wife as well.
What do you mean?
Like her and Monique worked together on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
From your point of view, what happened?
From my point of view, I get a call from my financial advisor. This is like you said, after I retired. So they could see the money being withdrawn quickly now because it's not as much in there as it would be before. So I get a call from my financial advisor, and she's asking me, why am I writing all these checks? Or I'm like, what checks are you talking about? She was like, because I don't write checks. Back then, I didn't write checks. I either use my card or I get cash. I didn't write checks, but I had checks in my nightstand by the bed. So she was like, she's talking about when did you start writing all these checks? I'm like, what checks? She was like, so she took photos of it, sent me the photos. She was like, these checks. So I look at them. I'm like, I didn't write these checks. That's not my handwriting. And she was like, I didn't think so. She was like, you never write checks. So I was like, why? That's what really alarmed me, because you never write checks. And so I started doing my research and find out that it was her. I had a private eye, track the bank, go to the banks, and they come back with the photographs of her at the bank teller, handing the checks over to the cashing the checks at the bank.
Right. And when I asked Joe why he didn't press charges, he said that he went to the police, but they
did nothing. They had
the police just said, well, it's your word against hers. And, she's saying that you gave her the checks. And even though the signature doesn't match, which to me sounds crazy, because if there's a check with a different signature and the person saying, I never wrote this check, I don't care how close the person is, you should be able to press charges, right?
Yeah, I think that he just didn't pursue it as voraciously as he should have. And, I'll say something again. The ex-wife said something to me. The lion will never roar at me. Like he'll roar, but just not at the right people.
Okay. And then around that time, that's when you guys met.
Yes.
It was at the BET Awards after party?
Yes.
Okay. So when you met him, what happened?
I was with my girlfriends. It was the end of the night. And earlier that evening, I did this love manifestation thing. And my girlfriend was like, hey, he's looking at you and he's tall and he's fine. And like, you think he's cute, go talk to him or else, you won't get that manifestation fulfilled. And so I said, oh, okay, let me go talk to him. So I said, hi. And I just walked up and like, hi. And that was it. And he was like, hi. And we exchanged numbers, got together. And
yeah, he said that I guess the next night you guys saw each other again.
At another party, yes, we did.
Another party. And then before you know it, you guys were living together.
Yeah, because I was here from Germany. So I was staying with a girlfriend who was kind of crazy. I always have crazy girlfriends. So he let me come stay with him.
Okay. So now you're living with him.
Yeah, now we're living together.
This is 2012.
Yep.
By 2016, you guys got engaged.
Yes, we're moving to Atlanta during this time.
Okay. Why'd you guys get engaged?
Because I was going to leave him if he didn't.
Okay. It's either marry me or I'm out.
Basically,
Okay,
yeah.
but that kind of makes sense because at that point you're in your mid 40s and it's like you don't really have time to just waste with
No, I
just
don't.
shacking up.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
And he agreed and you guys got engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from 2012 to 2016, what's the money situation like?
Not really well. We lived in one apartment in Woodland Hills, and I think he had an eviction on that apartment, so I had to put the next apartment in my name.
Okay.
So we moved to another place in Woodland Hills, and that apartment was in my name. And then he went into his 401k to get some money for the move to Atlanta. And his plan, we were going to break up at that time. He gave me money and he was like, you do your thing, I'm going to do mine. And I said, well, that's stupid. We're both moving to Atlanta. We're going to get separate residences. Why not just live together and be roommates? You know what I mean? That makes more sense, like financially. I'm always about trying to make financial sense of things. And that was just stupid. That was a dumb thing to do. We're both moving to the same place but separate houses. That's two deposits, two everything. That's just dumb. Mm-hmm. We don't hate each other. We get along. So we just ended up staying together.
Okay. And I mean, for those that don't know, going into your 401k before you're 59 and a half means that you pay all the taxes.
And he's done it several times.
Yeah. If you wait until you're 59 and a half, then you get it all tax-free. This is why you wait. When you take it out early, it becomes problematic. So that kind of sets the stage of how bad things are financially if you have to dip into that.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, in 2018, you guys do a show with Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And that show was supposed to essentially kind of get him back on his feet, get his business running, because he was doing like coaching and so forth, right? He was coaching kids and Alex Rodriguez basically, on the show worked with him to try to get him, improve his business. And you're part of that as well.
Yeah.
Now, at that time, according to my interview with him, he only had $3,000 in the bank and he was $157,000 in debt. Mm-hmm. Well, in 2018, A-Rod had a TV show that he featured you on. And I guess at the time, you only had $3,000 in the bank. Mm. And he basically worked with you on the show to essentially try to build up your business and get your income higher.
Right.
How hard was that to be making so many, tens of millions of dollars, and now you only have $3,000? And were you in debt at that time also, or no?
Yeah. Yes.
So you were in debt and you only had $3,000 to your name. Pretty much a low point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very low point. And like I said, when I say I was in a deep, deep, deep depression, like mentally messed up, I'm telling you, I was there.
What was the debt from? Just life.
Nothing I had anything to do with.
Okay.
It was all his own debt.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys are engaged, so it's not really all his own debt. You're part of this.
No, I didn't create that debt.
No, but I understand. But if you're engaged and you're getting ready to get married, you're going to be part of this.
Oh, well, yeah. I didn't look at it like that.
But that's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
How involved were you in his finances and trying to get him out of this hole? Because like I said, you're involved in this as well. I wasn't involved in
his finances. Joe didn't really start trusting me with knowing, or like, when I left Germany, my boyfriend would, babe, I need money. He'd give me his wallet and say, take what you need. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I get to America. I'm dating Joe. Babe, I need money. Oh, all right, let me go to the bank. I'll be right back. And I'll give you some money. And I'm going to the store, mind you, grocery shopping, and the bank is right next to the store. Like, we could just, you feel what I'm saying? Like, the trust wasn't there. I found out about the other kids accidentally, opening up mail, that I'm nosy. So I see stuff, I'm like, what's this? Oh, who's that? What child support is this for? I thought you only had 2 kids. You know what I mean?
Oh, he didn't tell you about the other 4?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no, not at all. So he's just not very forthright with information. So things you have to find out you find out trial and error with him.
I mean, when you find out about the 4 other kids, what happened at that point?
I was already in emotionally, you know. Had I found out in the very beginning, I don't think we would have gotten as far as we did, because I have, you know, certain criteria, and that would have been a deal breaker for me. But I was already in. So I was just like, all right, 4 kids, you know.
Well, 6 kids.
Well, yeah, 6.
And your daughter at this point is full grown?
Oh, my daughter's grown, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you guys are in debt. Well, he's in debt. And you guys get married in 2021.
2019, something like that.
Okay, 2019. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is right after the show with A-Rod.
Yes.
And this was filmed for TV, right?
It was, I did Say Yes to the Dress.
Say Yes to the Dress, right.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this wedding become a TV thing?
From the Alex Rodriguez show, the runner from that show was like, hey, Joe, would your wife want to do this? And he asked me what I wanted to do that. And so I did the show.
Okay. They paid you to do it and all that?
No, I didn't get paid for the show. I just got a wedding dress.
And a wedding, the whole wedding as well, right? They paid for it.
Yeah, they offered to pay for it. Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
It was cool.
Okay. Did you have to get divorced before you got married?
I got divorced before I got married. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Was there any pushback from your ex-husband?
I got divorced so I could get married. He was pretty annoyed with me.
Okay.
Because that means his girlfriend was going to be like, now we can get married. And actually, they got married before I did. So it's really funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So you guys get married, but the money problems are still there. And now, since you're married, you're on the hook as well, technically.
Yeah.
In a way.
Say that. Yeah.
So what are you doing for money at this point?
I had already started a couple of businesses. I had Cocktail Hour with Kiss, which is my boutique catering bartending service. After that, I started Major Movers and Cleaning. Did Puppy Friend Social Club. I forgot about that, where I invested lots of money, but COVID kind of did me dirty with that. Then over the last year, I said, I'm going to start dancing again. So I started dancing at a club in Atlanta. And then I really hate it, you know.
Were you dancing before?
I used to dance before, yeah. I mean, as an adult video star, you do feature work.
Yeah, you're doing feature work.
I mean,
okay, got it.
You know, so.
But now you're dancing in Atlanta.
Now I'm dancing in Atlanta like a regular club girl, and it was just really annoying the mess out of me. So I started an OnlyFans page. I figured, and I didn't disclose this. I didn't feel a need to. I'm going to a strip club every day of the week where
he knows that.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
Like, he's dropped me off at work, you know, because he needed to use my car. So.
Oh, you guys were sharing a car?
Yeah. Like, and let me explain what he did with his cars, though. Like, people think I'm an asshole and they think that I'm mean and I'm just out here bashing Joe, that I don't love him. I'm a freaking dirty gold digging, whatever. But let me explain something here, okay? Joe had a Porsche Panamera when I met him. I hit a curb and messed up the axle on it, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't talk to me about getting it fixed. He went and traded in for a Camaro, okay? Now he's got this Camaro. I did the same thing with the Camaro, but I got it fixed because I would have did the same with the Camaro. I would have got it fixed. But so there's some other stuff with the Camaro. It has to still get paid off, whatever have you. We moved to Atlanta. The freaking car couldn't get registered because of the, you know, you don't have the title for it. Mm-hmm. And so my friend was registering the car for us in California for a while until she couldn't do it any longer. Then the car, the tags were bad. So his family gave him a car where he had good tags, took the good tags off that when they gave him and put it on the Camaro. And then the other car sat in the driveway for a whole year and a half, whatever, not being moved, had green underneath on, you know, we got fines from the HOA for that. Like, so now he has no cars because he got pulled over with the bad tags. Then the other car just died because it was already an old car. Okay. You know what I'm saying, Vlad? Like, yeah. I can't make this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just does childish ass things. I'm sorry to say it like that, but you're not in control of your life, and you need to get control of your life. I'm not a babysitter. I'm not a mother. I'm supposed to be a wife and a friend and a companion, not, not hustling as hard as I have to.
Okay. So you start the OnlyFans,
Yes.
but you don't tell them.
No, I didn't see a need to. Why? I go to work every day and people are touching on me.
I get it. To be fair, I interviewed him. And I said, had your wife told you a year ago that she's starting OnlyFans, would you have been okay with it? And he said yes.
Of course, I'm okay in a freaking strip club. So what's the difference?
Exactly.
That's why I don't see what the problem is.
So the problem wasn't so much that he wouldn't have let you do it. It was the fact that he didn't know about it. If you were to get back together with her, would one of the conditions be you have to take down that OnlyFans?
I mean, the fact that she has the OnlyFans doesn't even really bother me. It was just the fact that she was doing it behind my back, never told me. Then when I asked her about it, how she went about it by recording our conversation and putting that out, for the public viewing. So it's not even the fact that she has the OnlyFans page. Like she said, nobody's touching her and things like that. So it's not even a fact about that. But I am pissed off about, being kept in the dark.
And you are married.
I think honestly how I feel about it is like, so what? I'm in a strip club. People are touching me every day. I'm grinding on fools' laps. I don't want to be there. I'm home.
Okay, but he knows about the strip club. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
I understand.
saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying that you are married. You decided to make this decision.
I probably should have said something, but I didn't.
I don't know about the probably part. I think you should have said something. Okay?
I should have said something.
You guys are married. You guys aren't dating. You're not going back to your own apartment at the end of the night. You guys are married. You don't tell him. So you have to take responsibility for that. You can't really dance around this part.
Okay, I take responsibility. I should have said something.
Okay.
But maybe I'm just like, maybe I just don't give a fuck.
Well, I think that's really what was happening. I think there was a certain level of resentment at that point, and it was like, well, I'm just going to go do this and not tell him.
Yeah, I didn't.
Which
feel
is
the need
understandable
to.
from your point of view. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying that it wasn't an accident. You knew you were going to do it. You could have talked to him. You decided not to, and you started it.
Yes.
Okay. So
take accountability for that.
Okay. And to be fair, this is not a boy-girl OnlyFans. This is a solo situation.
Exactly.
So it's you with like toys or whatever else.
Yes.
Okay. And how much were you charging a month for this?
$15.99.
$15.99.
Yeah.
OnlyFans is sort of an interesting business because you hear about the bad babies that are making whatever, $100 million, but the majority of OnlyFans accounts make very little, especially ones that aren't being promoted. And,
right.
Although you did adult film, this was a long time ago.
Exactly.
And were you even using your adult film name in your OnlyFans or no?
Both, yeah.
Okay. So there was some connection, but you hadn't done adult film in a very long time.
Right.
So was this OnlyFans making any sort of real money?
I was making a couple of bucks. I was doing okay.
Okay, but
yeah, not like I'm doing now, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing this solo content on OnlyFans for, was it about a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still working at the club too, and I'm still doing everything else.
You're still hustling.
Yeah.
Okay. Between the OnlyFans, the club, and all these other businesses you have, is it paying the bills or are you still struggling?
I make enough to take care of my bills, like my responsibilities.
Okay.
Like everybody has a task in the house. Like my daughter lives with us.
Okay.
So she pays the utilities. I take care of the future, which is our house in Cape Verde, West Africa. And Joe takes care of the rent here.
Okay. But he's still paying child support as well?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a story behind that, but it's fine. So then we get to this year. Now, your version of the story and his is a little bit different. According to him, because I just interviewed him, he said that you guys were in the house and he walked by and saw you scrolling on your phone and saw it was OnlyFans and saw, I guess, pictures of you and was like, what's that? Explain to me exactly how you found out about her OnlyFans page.
She was actually on it, on her phone, and I was walking by and I seen her on it, flicking through the pictures, and it kind of caught me off guard. So I asked her about it at that time, and it was a conversation. Even before she started recording, we was having a conversation about it. We were talking about it, and then all of a sudden I turn around and she's recording me. But that was the same day that I was just walking through the house. We're just having a normal day.
Is that true?
No.
Okay. Your version is a little different.
Someone told him about it, and that's how he knew.
A female?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you've said before that, I don't know if you're bisexual, but you sometimes do stuff with women, right? And you guys have had like threesomes. You're bisexual.
I'm
okay.
bisexual.
Some people are bisexual. Some people are just, like to please their man and whatever.
No,
You're bisexual. Got
definitely
it.
for me.
Okay. And you brought women home to do threesomes and stuff like that before?
Twice.
Okay. So not
not all the time.
Basically.
I would do it more often, but we don't go out enough to meet people. I'm out by myself most of the time. And the girls that I brought home were because I met them when I was out.
Okay. And you guys have filmed your own little private content from time to time.
Yeah.
But you never put it out.
Who, me?
Yeah. Well, neither one of you put it out. Or have you? Okay. All right. We'll get to that. Anyways, regardless of how we found out, an argument started to ensue over your OnlyFans page.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to start recording at that point?
I don't know. I was being petty.
Okay.
I was being petty and see, the whole conversation before wasn't had. You guys only caught half of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually took it down before I thought it would be seen, but someone else caught it and put it back up on their page or whatever. I don't know how they did that, but they got it. So.
Well, okay. So you guys have the argument and you're recording.
Yes.
And you hear him say, essentially, I don't want to be recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still recording.
Yeah, and then he follows me up the stairs as I'm moving. So if you don't want to be on camera, go the way.
Okay. But you're not on live.
No.
You're just recording in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So after the argument is done, he leaves the house?
No. He went downstairs to his little office area.
Okay. Why'd you decide to post it online?
I don't know. Just, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I can't give you an answer for that. I just honestly there's some bubblehead shit.
I mean, to me, from my point of view, and I'm a very private person, that to me was the bigger problem in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your wife who strips and has an adult, a past, adult film career, starts an OnlyFans, that's essentially on brand. This is not shocking. This is not like, the college professor you marry who suddenly has a double life. This is on brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you start an OnlyFans, telling him or not telling him, I get it. Couples argue, sometimes they record each other. Okay, that's happened to me too.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But posting it online, I felt that was when you kind of crossed the line.
You want to know something? I mean, okay, so when I did it, I wasn't really thinking about, I post shit all the time and no one picks it up, So I didn't think that anybody would gravitate to it. And then I took it off before, it wasn't up for like 15 minutes, so when it exploded like that, I was like, what? Wow, all the good stuff I put out there all the time. And nobody takes that. But boy, they sure got this.
Well, this was an interesting one. I mean, I reposted it on one of my accounts, on the VladTV account. It was like, okay, this is different because not only is it you, but it's also a former NBA player, #1 draft pick. I mean, there's a story.
Yeah.
There's a story here. It's not just two random people in an OnlyFans account. There is different levels of celebrity involved here and fan bases and so forth. So once you posted it, you took it down, but it got reposted and then it started to go viral very quickly. Was he still in the house when this was happening?
Yes, he left after it got viral. Sorry, it's not funny. But he left I think on Saturday it got big, and then that Monday he was out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you guys are married. You guys are living together in the same house. Had he ever left the house like this before?
Yes.
Okay. So did you think this was just a little temporary situation? He'll be back tomorrow?
I figured he needed to go cool off a little bit. I'm annoying. So I'm kind of enjoying this whole ride right now. I go haha. But it's good for him. You know what I'm saying? Who's been talking about him?
I mean, you guys have both definitely been thrown into the limelight.
Yes.
I mean, because it's not just me talking about him. He's Stephen A. Smith.
Everybody.
Chimed in.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone essentially started chiming on the situation.
I'm hoping that, out of this comes some light for him. For us.
Well, you said something interesting on one of the interviews you did. It was a radio interview. And you said that you had him take a picture of himself holding his ID and you started an OnlyFans account for him and you were going to upload some of the sex content with you guys onto this OnlyFans. Yeah. Did this actually happen?
Well, no, not really.
Not really, or no?
I mean, no, he knows that he has an OnlyFans page, so he's okay with that.
He said, I asked him this, he said he has an OnlyFans so you could check your OnlyFans. But he said he's not aware of his own OnlyFans where he's going to be charging people money to look at him.
He didn't, he's not set up for pay.
What do you mean?
His is not set up for pay. It's just, you can subscribe to it, but it's not like a charged one.
Okay.
He should. I keep telling him, go in there and fix it. It's he could make money.
So is there any explicit content with you and your husband on OnlyFans?
Yes, there is. But you have to pay for it to get it.
Pay you?
Yeah.
So you have, on your OnlyFans, you have not only solo content, but you have
just one
sex content with you and your husband.
But you don't know who it is. You can't tell it's him.
Well, but you just said who it is, so.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, if everything else is solo and there's one sex scene, then unless it's a guy that we're not talking about right now, it's him.
And then only on OnlyFans, you have to tag the person that's in the content with you, so you're not allowed to post if they're not tagged in it.
So you tagged him?
You have to.
Okay. Well, the first thing that people started saying was that this whole thing is fake, that this is a ploy by both of you to get your OnlyFans popping.
Okay.
Is there any truth in that?
No.
Okay. He denied it as well. Based on my conversation with him and the emotion and everything else like that, I don't get that idea. This to me sounds like an actual marriage and an actual relationship problem and, it's being played out how it's being played out. This doesn't seem fake to me.
No.
Maybe I'll be wrong in the future, but I've done a lot of these. This does not seem fake. So this is real. Now, when all the attention started happening, how much did your OnlyFans go up?
I was in the 21 percentile and now I'm 13%.
Okay. So a lot, but you're not in the 1% or the...
I'm in the 0.13%.
0.13.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Before you were 21%, now 0.13. Yes. Oh, so it is a huge deal.
Yes.
Okay. So is this the most money you've ever made?
No, it's not the most money I've ever made, but I'm making a lot right now.
Okay. What was the most money you've ever made prior to this?
When I was working in the peep shows back in New York.
Okay. All right. So.
Doing porn.
Yeah, but I mean, porn was making money. I mean, I don't know. Back then, you're getting what, maybe a couple thousand a scene?
Yeah.
This seems to be at a higher level.
Yeah.
Can you say how much you made?
No.
Okay, I'd ask. All right, so you start doing a media run, and you go on Cameron and Mesa's show. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And Cameron is basically flirting with you on the show, talking about the cleavage and everything else like that.
It's popping.
During my interview with Joe, I asked him if he's seen this clip.
And you showed it to him.
And he said he hasn't. So I said, do you mind if I show it to you? He said, go ahead.
Shit starter.
Well, I mean, it's out there. It's not like it's a secret video that
but
it's
I'm
not like a
just trying
private
to
OnlyFans
say,
page that I just showed him.
But it's like, that's what I said. If you don't pay attention, you don't know. So, he was none the wiser. And then here you come along.
That's still your wife. I mean, seeing that, does that bother you at all?
It bothers me a lot. I mean, not just saying that, but the messages that I get from people who actually went to her OnlyFans page and, they send me on Instagram or Facebook, talking about how my wife looks and how my wife, what my wife, kind of pictures my wife got up. And so, I mean, that's my first time hearing it vocally from someone, but I've been seeing it all week.
Well, listen, if something is out publicly, I have no problems asking about a public video. If it's starting shit or not, it is what it is.
It is what it is. No pun intended.
Pun intended. Right. But you could tell he was bothered by it, and he actually said it bothers me a lot. Seeing your husband with that type of reaction, how'd you feel?
I'm sorry. I also have a massage business. So he knows that too. So what's the difference with me massaging strangers in a room privately as opposed to me massaging Cam on television live?
Well, right, because, this was before the actual massage happened.
Oh, he was just like, oh, you mean the flirting was happening?
The flirting,
oh,
yeah.
I mean, I was flattered. I mean, shucks. I would just say this, Vlad. When I got to Vegas, whenever I travel, he never calls me or texts me or anything. Mm-hmm. That night, when I was in Vegas, he texted me. I was like, what you doing? So, good. He needs to be worried.
Okay, because then you followed
I'm desirable.
Well, you followed that up with an actual massage
Mm-hmm.
that you did with Cameron.
Yes.
On camera. How's the massage business doing now?
We're getting a lot of offers for jobs. I'm just not taking any right now. And I'm working on building a site and a actual whole platform for it. Mm-hmm. So I can accommodate everyone and make sure people are getting their body rubs from the Body Rub Babes.
Got it. Well, a picture started to circulate from a site called Fanbus with you and Baby Alien. Uh-huh. Now, this is a site that does adult scenes sometimes, yes. But they also do kind of skits and PG related stuff. Yes. Can I assume that you didn't actually do a scene with Baby Alien?
I did not do a scene with Baby Alien. Baby Alien and I did a skit. Everybody thinks that I did, but I did not.
I assume that.
Thank you.
I had to ask.
Thank you for having some
But I assume that. I mean, does he actually do scenes, or is he just there as sort
Honestly,
of
I don't know.
Comic relief in a way?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think he did do a scene with two girls, they took his virginity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because there's also this other kind of
a midget dude.
Little person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure if midget is considered.
Is that the wrong thing to say? I'm sorry if it's wrong thing to say, guys.
I think it's little person is the way you should say it. Anyway, but they have a couple of little people sort of incorporated into their whole.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, why did you decide to do that?
Fanbus?
Yeah.
They paid me.
Okay, well, there you have it. Okay, and then just recently, you guys did a sit down with Kevin Wesley.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, he's married to, is it 2 women or 3 women?
I don't know. He's got wives.
He's got multiple wives. Mm-hmm. Now, does he know Joe already?
I don't know.
Okay, because it almost seemed like they had some sort of
It did,
relationship,
didn't it?
but
It did.
I don't know the backstory.
I don't know either.
Okay, so Kevin reached out to you and said, hey, I want to do a sit down with both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the first time you guys had been in the same room?
Yes.
Okay, so how much time had passed from the point he moved out?
Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week.
Okay, because when I talked to him, he said he was still out of the house. He still hadn't met up with you. So this culminated in recently on Kevin's show.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like to be in the same room with him?
It was tension.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we have things that we need to talk about, period. We just need to have conversations, not with Kevin Wesley,
Mm-hmm.
Right,
because you're still in the house.
Yeah.
And what I heard from watching that interview was you wanted him to move back home.
Yeah, come back home.
But where's he staying now?
In Virginia.
Okay, like with relatives or something?
Probably so.
Okay.
Or his friend's house.
Right.
His cousin's house.
Well, in the interview, you apologized for what you did and you promised to run things by him in the future. And you said, behind every great man, there's a great woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's not great right now makes you feel less than.
Let me rephrase that. There's a song by Lola Young that says, "What is it about me? What is it about me that makes you question you and makes you make me question my own life?" Like, you had such tenacity and drive to get into the NBA, and you worked your ass off. For who? I don't know what for. But at this stage in your life, you have a woman who's been beside you. And I never had a dad in my life, but from all the dads that I can see in the world, when a man loves a woman, he makes a way for her. My ex-husband said to me, if a man doesn't treat you the way I do or better, you don't need him. So I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Well, okay. Just to be fair, in terms of what you just said, I've interviewed hundreds of athletes over the course of my career. Professional NBA players, Dennis Rodman, Hall of Famers, Dominique Wilkins, Warren Saps, every sport. The thing about professional sports is that it's very structured. Mm-hmm. From sometimes as early as elementary school, when they see the potential of you as a superstar athlete, everything is done for you. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about your classes. Just go to practice, train, back to practice, game, tournament, back to practice. Mm-hmm. Then you get to high school, same thing. You go to college, even more structured. And then when you get to the NBA, you know exactly where you need to be. There's curfews. You can't, even in home games, you can't go outside. Everything is extremely laid out surgically. You got to be on the bus at this point. You're going to this game. There's no leeway for someone to be like, I'm going to do this or do that differently. They know exactly.
He found leeway to have 4 extra kids. So I'm just saying.
Right, no, but I'm talking about his career. He's not making money off these kids. He's losing money off these kids, right? So he has this whole structure. And then as it goes in professional sports, it's over, usually unexpectedly. Mm. And when it's over, that man or that woman is still relatively young with a long life ahead of them. Mm. And there's no game plan. There's no structure. Okay, some NBA guys go into broadcasting, but there's only a few roles for that. Other ones start podcasts, but starting a podcast is very hard from ground zero. If they're extreme superstars, they have a lot of money and it doesn't really matter, like a Kobe, where Kobe could literally sit there and watch TV, for the rest of his life and it wouldn't have mattered because he's Kobe. Mm-hmm. But for the majority of athletes, they don't know what to do. This is not what Joe, has gone through is not unique to Joe. The majority of athletes have gone through. In fact, I believe the majority of athletes actually go broke after a certain number of years.
Probably so.
So this is not, I just want to be fair. This is not the exception. It's really more the rule. I'm not making excuses for Joe, but I'm saying it's a very common situation.
Understood. And then I pop into your life. You do music. You're a great engineer. You have a great ear. You're talented. Babe, why don't you enroll in audio engineering school at LA Film School? The NBA will pay for it because they got that little program for you guys.
The NBA will pay for
school.
College?
Yeah.
For school, really?
Mm-hmm. There's
okay.
through the Legends Foundation, they've got lots of things they can do.
Never knew that. That's interesting.
He started and didn't finish. Now we go back to the Legends. Oh, there's a broadcasting class you can take. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do that. We spend money. We do that. We get a reel. You need to find the agent, shop it. Like his agent died and he didn't even know his agent was dead.
His agent died?
It's not funny. That's like,
No, I'm sorry. No, it's not funny, but you got to find a little bit of humor in this. I mean, the fact that your agent died, you don't even know
this is my life.
It's a little
I'm
crazy.
sorry. It's not humorous anymore. So you had that. You don't continue with it, I'm like, babe, you have this broadcasting thing. You've got the reel. You need elocution classes. Let's try to take some of those so you can get your speech better, so you can actually be a viable candidate for a job. I can only suggest so many times, Then we, what's the last thing we just did? Hold on. There was something else and we quit that too. We just don't follow through.
Well, I mean, there was the whole training thing. That seemed to be the main thing. So what ultimately happened with that? Because what he said was after the A-Rod thing, he had reached out to him for help. They promised, and ultimately they
had a whole big plan that they were supposed to do, and basically it was a big exploitation. Gig,
that's what
that's what it was. They didn't help do anything. A-Rod's a piece of shit. Sorry to say it, but you should have came through for your boy instead of just exploiting him and giving him like $2,000. I'm sorry.
That's how much you got paid?
That's how much you got paid, wow. $2,000. And I had to fight for my little 15. After they helped get the car fixed maybe. But I paid for part of that too because my friend in Germany, my ex-boyfriend, helped me pay for that. It's just so many things. Oh, the big three. So I have a friend who was like, would Joe want to play in the big three? And I was like, fuck yeah, he would.
Yeah, that actually seems like a perfectly good place for him.
First year, he went to the combine. We didn't get drafted. I'm like, yo, Chris, man, we spent all this money going to Vegas. We didn't get drafted. What's good? Chris was like, let me make some phone calls. He got put on as a sub or something on the Ghost Ballers. Then one of the guys actually fell out. He got to play on the Ghost Ballers. Ghost Ballers came in second place in the tournament the first year. He was guaranteed a job second year. He didn't go back because his knees hurt. Nigga, your knees always hurt. Ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Like, my back hurts. My knees hurt. My brain hurts. Okay? Like, I'm tired of grinding on niggas' laps. I'm sorry. My butt cheeks hurt. The fuck?
I mean, listen, I feel you.
Get some surgery. Like, you have so much money and the HSA. Go get surgery. Fix your knees.
What is HSA?
The health reimbursement program thing that they have. Like, there's thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars in there. Okay? Go get your knees replaced. Sit down for a year. Take off, train, and get back in. You could have did all of this. You just don't want to.
Well, I remember I asked him, I said, after the NBA, none of the NBA teams picked him up. Did you consider playing in Europe? And he said no. Because that's usually the path, right?
But
even Dennis Rodman played in some kind of weird leagues.
Vlad, the man don't have to be in the situation that he's in. Okay? This is self-sabotage. And I'm no longer going to allow you or enable you to self-sabotage you and me along the way. No, enough is enough. You don't want to be happy. You don't want to travel. You don't want to live life. You're content where you are. Not me. I'm a jet setter. I take myself around the world. I'm not going to let you stop that. Like, if you look at my Instagram, I travel. I've been to Spain. I'm in Cape Verde whenever I can get there at the house, I'm not going to not travel because you don't have a passport because child support won't let you.
Oh, child support took his passport.
My God.
Yeah, when you owe child support, they'll take your passport.
Yes, and there's a lot more
Keep you
other
from escaping to a different
and there's
country.
more things that I'm not saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, I wasn't being funny when I said, Shaq, can you get a Papa John's? Like, send someone help.
Right. So let me get to that part. So you guys are having the conversation on Kevin Wesley's show. And things are getting a little uncomfortable. And
He kept making me look at that damn video. It was pissing me off.
the video.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Kevin said something and you said, well, maybe you can call up Shaq to give you a Papa John's.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And Shaq is affiliated with Papa John's Pizza.
He owns
a
couple
bunch
of,
of them. Yeah, I think he even has a position over there, like a C.
He's like a partner.
Chief creative officer or something, yeah. And at that point, he just walks out.
Mm-hmm.
Does that surprise you?
Yeah, because I didn't think what I said was so bad. But I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to.
What did that mean exactly?
Huh?
I mean, does he even know Shaq?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows everybody in the NBA.
Well,
all those guys know each other from that era.
Okay. I mean, I know Shaq too. Me and him talk sometimes over text, but I'm not going to ask him for a Papa John's.
But you're also not like in the fraternity with him.
Well, regardless of what fraternity I'm in, he's not just going to give you a Papa John's.
No, but
franchise.
I mean, no, seriously. This is a league of brothers. There's very far and few. You know how many people become NBA players in the entire history? 1,400, I believe it is, have become in the entire history of the NBA. 1,400. I think I'm even saying too many people have made it to be NBA players.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, look it up for me because it's not a big number.
Players. Well, 4,374 players
Okay,
have
that's
appeared in
still
at least
not a
one
lot.
NBA game.
That's not a lot of people
Not a lot, no.
that make it. That's an elite fraternity. Yeah. So they should be there for each other. You should be able to call your brother and be like, yo, man, I'm kind of fucked up right now. Because when he wasn't, people came to him for money. He's looked out for people before. His other brothers in the league, so where are they now? Period. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so he walks out, and now where are you in terms of your relationship?
I've been traveling, so I know he was at the house. When I get back, I'm not sure if he'll be there, but I mean, we've messaged, like I said, when I was in Vegas doing the cam show, he messaged me like, what you doing? So, I mean, we're not speaking, but we're not really like back 100%.
I mean, do you want to stay married to him?
At this point in my life, he needs to just do certain things for our marriage to work.
Okay, what is that?
It's like, stop giving me the bare minimum and step up and be the man that I need and stop letting me figure everything out by myself. Like he says to me that I don't, like when it comes to conversations, I tune out a lot. Not only do I have ADD, but like I really like my brain. I travel. I'm thinking about what to do next, creative things. So having frivolous conversations, sometimes I zone out. So he'll say that he feels like he's not heard or I don't listen, but you're not giving me conversation that I want to talk about. I want to talk about how to figure this shit out. And you want to talk about, I don't know, the show we just watched. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not interested in those conversations. I'm interested in what are we going to do in the next 5 years? How do you see yourself getting out of the situation? Like, how do we get your passport back? These are things I want to discuss.
Well, I mean, what I told him in our interview was when it comes to these types of things, when a relationship and an argument gets blasted all over the internet, everyone's going to chime in. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to pick apart your background, his background. You did adult film. you should just leave her because of that. Oh, we know he played the NBA and he lost his money, so you should leave him because of that. But ultimately, what I told him was, you shouldn't listen to anybody. That everyone's opinion when it comes to this has zero bearing on what you guys should actually do, because everyone's relationship is messed up in some type of way. It's just not blasted on the internet like this.
Mm-hmm.
People are having much worse situations at home than what you guys have. You have domestic violence.
Oh, yeah.
You have, child protective services, taking kids. Like, I've interviewed people and, and I've gone through some messed up things myself in my own home life. You just don't know about it because I don't publicize my private relationships. Right? But I've had my own problems, just like you guys. So it's very dangerous to listen to what's happening from other people because they're seeing just this one bad side and they're not telling you, you don't know what they're going through at the time themselves. So I said, screw what everyone else is talking about. If you and this woman have a partnership and you have a trust and you see a future, then you should stay together. You should find a way to work it out, whether it's therapy, whether it's conversation, whether this is the wake-up call for both of you to kind of change the way you operate. If you want to stay with the person, you should stay with the person. That's what I said. And I felt like that kind of got through to him, and I could tell by his expression and the way he reacted that made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So whatever you guys do, you guys should work it out. And I know it's hard because right now everybody has an opinion. Mm-hmm. Everywhere you go, you look on your Instagram page and there's literally 1,000 people telling you what to do. And all that doesn't matter.
Oh, they're not telling me what to do. They call me a whore. I'm for the streets.
Right. You're for the streets. You're this, you're that. Listen, I get the same thing. I get called all types of names thousands of times a day. It really doesn't matter. This is just when we place ourselves in the public eye, and no one's making us go in the public eye.
Scrutiny. Exactly.
There's going to be scrutiny, and there's going to be a lot of people with pictures of cats in their avatar. They're going to say the worst things that you've ever heard. But ultimately, none of us have to be in the public eye, right? You after your singing career, your adult career, you could have gone completely private, gone off of social media, and no one would know who you are. Same thing with him. He had his NBA career. He could have deactivated whatever public, anything he has. You guys could have lived totally private, but you guys have both decided to become public. So you have to take what comes with it, but all that is usually bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
It's all bullshit. So whatever you guys go through, if you guys want to work it out, I think you guys should work it out.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It seems like you want it to work out, and it seems like he wants it to work out too. It seems like there's a wall between the communication that's stopping you guys from talking about what just happened.
There's just a wall in our communication,
Period. I mean, I can see that. But you guys are both, at this point in your 50s. No?
I'm older than him.
You are?
He's in his 40s.
He's in his 40s still.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the age difference between the two?
Couple of years.
You guys aren't in your 20s anymore. So a lot of times at this age, you don't really want to start over. I mean, I'm 50 myself.
Yeah.
At this point, if you find someone that there is a level of trust, and obviously there was a somewhat violation of that trust, but this doesn't seem like a deal breaker to me.
No, I mean, I told him and his little girlfriend in a group text that we could all just be happily, together and figure this shit out.
Okay.
But they don't like to be honest and transparent, so nobody replied. But, I'm sure that's where he's at when I'm not around or while he's gone. I know he's not just at his sister's house, so.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kisha, this is an interesting time for you. And it seems like you're taking full advantage of it. And, at the end of the day, I applaud you for it because these types of moments don't happen all the time.
Yeah. I feel very fortunate, honestly.
Yeah. When you have a moment, you got to kind of lean into it as opposed to pretend like it's not happening. You're leaning into it. And honestly, he's leaning into it also because he would have done an interview with me if he wasn't.
But he's not leaning into it as hard as he could.
Oh, no, he can go all in.
He needs to.
He could go like Adam and start doing scenes with you and everything else like that.
I mean, this is the time. If you want to get your life back and you want your money back and you don't, like his ex-wife owes him money for a house that he can't even go sue for. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you need to get it together. And this is the opportunity right now. The time is golden. And I mean, I literally said to him, I need for you to step it up, answer your phone, get with the program, or I'm going to be fine with it without you.
Well, I mean, regardless of what happens, I've now interviewed both of you, and I honestly wish the both of you the best because you both seem like good people, and you're caught up in the situation right now. It can't be reversed.
I love him.
It seems like you do love him, and it seems like he loves you. You guys, I asked whether there's any plans for kids. He said no. You know, we both have kids of our own, so there's no plans on having any new kids.
Adoption, maybe.
Adoption, maybe. But, you know, it seems like you guys are cool in that regard. And, you know, you guys are still relatively young. There's a lot of years ahead of you. And, you know, you guys were planning for the future. You're talking about like a place in Africa where you guys going to retire to.
I want to retire there, you know?
So you guys are thinking, I mean, you guys are thinking long term. You know, like at this point, I wish you both the best. And I'm hoping that the next time I see you guys on social media, it's some sort of reconciliation.
Thank you.
Okay, that's what it is. Kisha.
Thank you, Vlad. It was a pleasure.
Peace.